Would I consider myself to be a procrastinator?
80% of the time, no. 20% of the time,
Yes.
It is so much easier not to do things than to do them. That you would do anything is totally remarkable.
When was the last time I procrastinated?
like yesterday.
Like 25 minutes ago.
On Tuesday,
I think as we speak, right now.
I vacuumed,
There was a quiz I didn't want to do.
cleaned my room,
It was not a priority at all.
did my dishes,
In a sense, I'm constantly procrastinating.
reorganized my linen closet.
It was due at 4 p.m. I think I did it at like 3:30.
Took 2 hours,
There's always something better I could be doing.
and then I started reading for the exam I had the next day.
But if you're using that strict of a definition, I suppose everyone's procrastinating all the time.
I mean, I don't even know what the definition of procrastination is. I guess just putting stuff off.
Well, a large part of it is about putting stuff off. Procrastination is a special kind of delay because procrastination is irrational.
If I have a simple thing to do, I'll do it. If I have 10 things to do, I won't do any of them.
Yet this irrationality doesn't deter us because we are bound to our mission of doing everything at the last possible minute.
Literally didn't start studying until like
The day before the exam. 2 minutes before the deadline.
2 hours before.
But it ended up going my way.
Oh, I got an A on it.
Still got a 5 on the AP exam.
Passed the course, no problem.
I think it is such a pride in being like, I did the least amount of work and still got the same result.
Winging it usually works, so why not, right?
And there's the problem. Procrastinating usually works. Not all the time,
That kind of screwed me over. I got a 4.
but a good portion of the time. To our immediate eye, there aren't any real consequences. Instead, the consequences linger, and they don't impact us, but rather they impact our future selves. A distinction that's made very clear in the mind of a procrastinator.
Part of it is just that I don't respect myself as much.
I'm more worried about letting other people down.
When I think about my future self, I'm like, that fucking guy can deal with it, he deserves it.
They're like, hey, I'm gonna have some fun right now. I'll think about this later.
Self-deprecation is part of who we are, and being a chronic procrastinator fits well into this identity. A 1984 study at the University of Vermont demonstrated that procrastination is not solely a deficit in study habits, but involves a complex interaction of behavioral, cognitive, and affective components. In the study, the subjects that procrastinated most tended to be the ones who had self-reported feelings of depression, irrational cognitions, low self-esteem, anxiety, and a lack of assertion.
With every passing seconds, I remind myself that I should have done it earlier.
That adrenaline rush just forces me to work.
I don't enjoy the feeling.
I enjoy the stress.
Procrastination is by nature self-destructive.
I like to manage my time, but in a way that makes me stressed enough to do stuff without looking at my phone.
When I take 2 days instead of 1 day to write an essay, I will see tangibly better results.
All of my best work has been produced from procrastination.
Evidently, procrastination can manifest itself in more than one way, and sometimes it doesn't manifest itself at all.
I generally don't procrastinate, like compared to the average student, I guess.
One other person that I know of, he does not procrastinate. It seems like everything is laid out in front of him.
If I'd work to do, I'd get it done.
The approaches and solutions that these non-procrastinators offer are simple.
Just do it!
And maybe it is that simple. But why then is it so fundamentally difficult for me to sit down and write an essay when I have hands that are perfectly capable of typing?
I'm not sure exactly why I procrastinate. I would love to just get things done.
I do like getting things
So why
done.
don't you do things?
But ultimate paradox.
As far as I'm concerned, procrastination isn't genetic. When I asked my parents if they considered themselves to be procrastinators, I got mixed responses.
Yes. No. No way. Waste of time to procrastinate. Absolute waste of time. I just prioritize things in a way that makes me happy instead of in a way that I should do it.
I think part of it is that procrastination is endemic to the environment we're in. Endemic to an environment that emphasizes productivity, that offers endless stimulation, and that offers us instant gratification at every which way we turn.
A lot of people expect instant gratification nowadays.
Procrastinators, they think in the very short term.
We want things to feel good immediately.
Like, for example, I've been trying to motivate myself going to the gym, but just that short-term gratification of sitting on my couch and watching Netflix, it just seems better.
When a task is at hand that doesn't offer instant gratification, desire to do it is much less.
If you have your phone, that's 1,000 things you could be doing instead of the thing you should be doing.
That sort of gratification that you get from it stays within that moment.
Yet technology, while worsening the problem, I don't think is the crux of the issue, because procrastination has existed long before the internet.
Getting rid of your distractions is just a band-aid.
Trying to get rid of these distractions feels a lot like trying to fight a hydra. You chop off Snapchat's head and then like Instagram and Twitter will sprout out.
You've got to find a way to work around them.
For me, I think the problem is about having found a sense of comfort in the things I waste my time with. If I feel a sense of discomfort doing my work, then I have 1,000,001 things to fall back on. Maybe there's a link between not knowing how to experience boredom and constantly procrastinating. There's so much emphasis on doing things that we don't know how not to do things.
Where I'm McGill, obviously, everybody is perfectionist and everybody's competitive.
Because there is a constant pressure to do things.
When you're not doing something productive in this time, you think, oh, okay, am I procrastinating?
Sarah Stadola of Mental Floss says that procrastination rarely involves doing nothing, but it does involve doing the wrong thing for that moment.
If I never ever procrastinated, I would have a lot of free time.
Definitely benefit in spending time doing nothing, when I'm just absorbed in my own thoughts.
So what if we did try and do nothing every once in a while, and let ourselves ruminate in the discomfort of boredom? For me at least, forcing myself into a state of discomfort is often the best way to realize the comfort I am accustomed to. After enough boredom, I will eventually sit down, realize the irrationality of it all, and use my perfectly capable hands to start typing the essay I should have started a week ago. There are, of course, a dozen possible solutions to procrastination, from making up harder tasks that will trick yourself into doing the previously difficult task you didn't want to do, to scheduling reminders as late as possible, shocking yourself into action. Procrastinators are not all the same, so it makes sense that there isn't a single holy grail of a solution for all of us.
I follow the 25-5 rule, just like I study for 25 minutes and then I don't study for 5 minutes.
I do think I've been improving a bit, and part of that is organization.
I think being busy is definitely the cure to procrastination.
Just being able to put a to-do list out and lay things out in front of me.
Being busy forces you to sort of get out of this procrastination mindset.
The way that I study, I turn off everything electronic.
My desk will be on like one side of my room, my phone's like on the other side. I am so much more productive.
Self-control is a skill, almost like a muscle. So if you use it more, you get better at it.
I didn't expect to find a single cure to procrastination by the end of this video. I just hope to spark some introspection, because as the psychologist Piers Steele has said, continued research into procrastination should not be delayed, especially because its prevalence appears to be growing.